Kids, today we're going to talk about starting your own business. Now, starting your own business is something that I believe everybody should do. Everybody. I don't care if it's selling cookies. I don't care if it's only part-time. You should have your own business on the side. Now, there are tons of reasons why. Entrepreneurship is the best way to build wealth, but even if your company is never successful, there are many benefits to running a business. First off, there's tax breaks. You'd be surprised at how much money you can save just by having your own business. But the biggest reason is experience. You'll learn things like what bosses are looking for because you'll be where they are. You'll learn skills you never would have learned at your day job. In fact, I think starting your own business is the best way to get a better job. My first side business was a failure, but I used what I learned in failing to quadruple my salary as an employee. And I'm going to show you how. So one neat part about owning your own business are the tax breaks. You can get tax breaks for doing things that you love. Let's say you love to travel. Well, write about it. Start a travel blog. Then you can start expensing travel all over the world. There are deductions for food, for cell phones, for cars. But the real value in starting your own business is that you're going to get an education that you cannot buy. Even if you never plan on working for yourself full-time, you should start a business. You'll learn skills that will make you more valuable as an employee. There is nothing better for your resume than being your own boss. So now let me give you an example. In my mid-20s, I was an administrative assistant making $8 an hour. I had no college degree, so I couldn't find a white-collar career job, and I wasn't going to learn anything as an administrative assistant. So I decided to start a business on the side. I was going to write and publish fiction novels. So I wrote a dorky sci-fi fantasy book, which is still available on Amazon. But then I had to figure out how to get people to read it. Since I wasn't writing anymore, I used my free time to figure out search engine optimization, which is basically just getting Google to show your website or project at the top of their search results. After a few months, I was on the first page of Google anytime someone searched for fantasy author, self-published author, or a whole bunch of similar terms. I learned pay-per-click marketing. This was literally stuff that you could not learn in college because it hadn't been around long enough for anyone to be teaching courses. I learned public relations. I learned more about Excel spreadsheets than I ever wanted to know. Then I taught myself social media marketing. That wasn't even a thing back then. MySpace had just come out, and it was me and Tila Tequila. She was a little bit better than I was at it. I started publishing short stories and giving them away for free on MySpace until I had built up about 40,000 followers. I ran a few promotions, and I was very briefly an Amazon bestseller. Very briefly. It's all great stuff. Problem is I didn't make any money. When I added up all the time I'd spent writing and marketing the book, it worked out to somewhere around $1 an hour. It was a failure. Then something worse happened. I got laid off. Which brings me to another good reason why you should have your own business. Gaps in your employment history. Now, what do you think sounds better to a potential employer? That you spent the last 6 months unable to find a job? Or that you were working on getting your homemade tortilla chip business off the ground? Tastes like initiative. I spent a few months looking for work while my tiny savings dwindled away. But I kept working for myself and I kept learning. When I finally found a new job, it wasn't for $8 an hour filing paperwork. It was a marketing job paying $72,000 a year to start. The company that hired me didn't care that I didn't go to college. They cared that I had learned the skills to add value to their business. Owning your own business is also good because it gives you a new perspective. It teaches you what's important to the guy on the other side of the hiring table. That's why it's so important that you start one, even if it's selling cookies. A lot of the concepts for big businesses are the exact same for small businesses, just on a different scale, which is why it's so important that you start a business. Any business. Now, we all know success is not about who works the hardest. In fact, sometimes it's exactly the opposite. Some of the hardest working people are also the least successful. What matters isn't how hard you're working. What matters is how hard you're working to get ahead. So what are you doing right now, today, to get ahead? The best thing you can do is to start your own business. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button. We'll have more videos up soon.